Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Isaiah James, and today I thought I'd talk about voting. How you can get set up for well, not necessarily how you can get set up for voting, but just some tips and tricks for the upcoming voting for the midterms. So the midterms usually is for stuff like governor, mayor, local authorities like sheriffs, departments, judges, those type of things. Obviously, I'm not going to give a full in-depth of, oh yeah, vote for this person, or, the whole, explain everything. I'm not going to do that. But I thought I'd share some tips. If y'all seen me on Twitter, you'll know that I do have a fairly strong opinion that I do not like or agree with the whole Republican versus Democrat crap that's been going on. Especially, it's been way worse in the 21st century. Also, I will warn y'all now, this is going to be age restricted just because it is politics. I'm going to keep it down to a minimum. So if you don't want to watch this, don't. If you don't like what I post, because I'll try not to do many videos on politics. I'm going to try to do as few as I can. I mean, I'm not going to do many of them anyways, but if you don't like what I say, just don't watch. Don't leave a nasty comment. Don't dislike. Don't be doing all sorts of terrible things. Just don't watch. So, what do I mean of stop voting for all, stop encouraging the Republican versus Democrat war? Well, for one, stop voting only Republican, only Democrat. That's one thing that we could do. Because the issue with a lot of politics now is, in today's society, you are told, vote Republican because they're good, the other party sucks. Or you're told, vote Democrat because they're the best, the other party sucks. The issue is, not only does this cause domestic issue with families and whatnot, it's like, heaven forbid, your family is filled with someone of one party. For example, let's say everyone's a Democrat. They support the Democrat Party. But heaven forbid, you don't agree with them. You support the Republican Party. And then it leads to domestic conflict within the family. Fighting, yelling, sometimes even violence over the stupidest thing of just an opinion. I'm not here to tell you to vote for who. I'm here to encourage y'all, stop voting for people just because of their political party. Just stop. You all know why our political system is such a crap show? Why there's so much political conflict and issue in today's society with politicians and other political crap going on. That's why. If you've seen my tweets, I'm very much someone who likes to encourage people. Stop voting just because of the party. If you're gonna vote for someone, vote for them because you think that they fit what you think fits the position, not because of their party, but because they fit the position. I'll give an example. I do want to clarify. I'm not saying this to crap on the party that I'm disagreeing with, nor am I being, supporting the other parties by saying this. This is just an example. Take what I say, whatever you say. Again, if you don't like what I say, you get offended, just don't watch. Don't post mean comments. Don't do any of that stupid crap. So, for example, let's look at one person in particular. So, let's look at Beto O'Rourke. Again, look what I just said. Let's look at Beto O'Rourke. Let's look at his ideals. Not because he's a Democrat, but because let's just look at Beto O'Rourke. There's only one thing that I agree with from Beto O'Rourke. And there are two things that I strongly disagree with Beto O'Rourke. None of them have to do with the fact that he's a Democrat. They have to do with the fact that I just don't agree with him. Simple as that. So what are those things? Well, the one thing that I do agree with, the only thing that I agree with from him, is LGBT rights. Now, granted, lots of politicians are fairly, all sides do pretty good with that. There are a few of all parties who don't. Why am I in support of that? Well, because, yeah, I may not personally agree with the way some of those people live. However, I think they're no different than us to being able to live a normal life. And LGBT rights, in my opinion, are probably one of the harder ones to get for most people around the world. Especially since there's a lot of cultures. A lot of them are religious cultures. Look at, Middle East. Lots of religious cultures, Muslim, whatnot. I could be wrong. Please do not bash me if I get it wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. No one is. Some cultures are just very strict. Do not want to give those rights. And here in the United States, where, well, yeah, it's a bit looser. People are allowed to be more expressive of who they are. However, there's still conflict. People like, oh, yeah, no, we don't like this. Or, hey, we need this. There's conflict between those two. But yeah, I think of it as, those people, if someone wants to marry someone of the same sex, okay, fine. They think they're the opposite sex, no sex, both sexes. Again, I may not agree with that stuff. However, I still think they should be allowed to live their life. Now, a lot of the other things that Beto, his issues that he covers, I don't agree with. A lot of the stuff he goes over, I don't agree with varying degrees for each one, some more than others. There's two things, though, that I very much do not agree with. First one being his take on guns. Being that he thinks he's one of many people, again, not because he's Democrat, but just because Beto, being one of many people who think the way they do, they think that by getting rid of guns, that all the issues of the world we've had happen, or will happen, will just never happen. Magically go away. They will magically never happen. Which is not true. Because, obviously, that's not going to work. Because criminals don't care. The main issue is criminals don't give a flying crap. They don't care if the weapon they use to shoot up a place, or to kill somebody, or to rob a place, they don't care if it's big or small. They don't care if it's got the original magazine in it, or original rounds in it, if it's got some modified rounds, or some, armor-piercing rounds, or extended mags, and, or pistols that look, or guns in general that look crappy, or guns that are very flashy. They don't care. All they care about is scaring people, if need be, for some of the sick savages that are out there, kill people, and make themselves look tough, and to make a quick buck. So they don't care what guns they get. They don't care if it's a pistol, 22, or 50 AE. They don't care if it's a rifle. They don't care if it's like 5.56, 7.62, 308, 50 BMG. They don't care. shotguns. They don't care if it's 20 or 12 gauge, birdshot or slugs. Again, criminals don't care. And banning AR-15s, it has to go with the debate of thinking that guns are the issue. They're not the issue. The issue is the people. So yeah, I obviously, as someone who supports the Second Amendment, yeah, I'm very much against that. The other thing I do not agree with from Beto is his take on what he supports with Black Lives Matter. Now, I will say, again, I know some of you are going to hear that and be like, calm down, hear me out. Black Lives Matter as a unit, not unit, where'd that come from? A movement to basically try to encourage people that, hey, don't feel bad for yourself just because of the color of your skin. Don't feel like you're just not going to get the job or you're not going to be able to do this, that, or the other just because of the color of your skin. You keep down on yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. You want to go do something? Go do it. Black Lives Matter as that? Yeah, I think that's fine. However, Black Lives Matter and what it turned into, which is a movement of hate and bashing police, is not right. And Beto supports that. He supports defunding the police. Which, obviously, if you've seen my tweets, you know that's a big absolutely not. Absolutely freaking not. Like, I'll put it this way. Defunding the police is probably one of the many stupidest things someone could do or want to do. Because the thing is with defund the police is you're going to lose more good officers, or you're going to lose more or all your good officers than you are bad officers. And this mentality that, if we defund the police, the bad officers will feel bad for themselves and leave. Like, no, that's not going to happen. The bad officers are not going to be like, oh, well, they're taking away all the money. I guess I got to move on. Like, no. Because, seriously, you're going to be hurting the good police officers more than the bad officers. You're going to be losing more or all your good officers than you are going to lose more or all of the bad officers. And yeah, I know there are some police departments that have it worse than others. Most police departments, though, in the United States, they do really well. They do really well. Also, with the whole ACAB thing, I think that's another thing that's stupid. People who are anti-police are very much into that, thinking that all cops are bad. Again, not true. Someone put it this way on Twitter, that basically, George Floyd was overdosing, on meth, and he ran into a bad cop. I get it. Derek Chauvin? Yeah. He was a racist piece of crap. I'm not gonna, I completely agree with that. He was a racist piece of crap. But just because he was a bad cop does not mean police officers in the United States and all across the world doesn't mean all officers are bad. There are plenty of good officers. More than y'all know. To all of you, if any of y'all are anti-police doubter, or people who just doubt that there are good cops. They are good cops. And, some people may ask, why do we have such a big budget for police officers? Especially in the United States, bigger than most militaries in Europe, as some people have put it. Well, because we're not like the police departments in the United States are not military. And they're not like the way the military and police units, military units and police departments in Europe and in other countries. Well, for one, most countries in Europe are small. Smaller than most states in the United States. Another thing you gotta take into consideration is the amount of population compared to what's actually occupied. Like, look at Australia, for example. The entire coast of Australia is populated, but there's a chunk in the middle of Australia that's not populated. Why? Because it's nothing but desert. No one lives there. No one's gonna live there. It's a desert. You look at countries like Russia. I can assure you, you can look at a map, a nighttime map that shows the city lights, and you can tell why. Because most of Russia is nothing but winter wonderland. Not so nice wonderland, but nothing but just snow, forest, forever. There's barely any people out there. Look at places like China. Yeah, China does have a high population density in some cities. However, there are still areas that are still fairly rural, and there's not many people there. You know, the list can go on and on and on and on. But you look at the United States. Why do we have so many police officers? Why is the police budget so high? Well, because simply our population density is higher than, higher when it comes to being more spread out than other countries. Yeah, there's going to be some cities like New York and California and whatnot. They're going to be in higher population density than other cities in the United States. However, with how spread out the United States population is relatively, again, not perfect, but I'm just trying to get my point across. With the way the population is in the United States, and how spread out it is, you're going to need cops. Where there's people, there is going to be crime. In cities, it's going to be worse than other areas in the United States, other states, and other cities. But just overall, where there's people, there's going to be crime. And where there's crime, we need cops. We need police officers. We need those officers to keep the peace. We need those officers to punish those that break the law and think they can get away with it. So for all those reasons, would I vote for Beto O'Rourke if he showed up on the ballot? No. Am I doing it because he's a Democrat? No. I don't care what party Beto was. I don't care if the man was a Republican. I don't care if he was a conservative. I don't care if he is a Democrat. I don't care what party any politician is. We need to vote, and I encourage y'all to please vote on who you think fits the position, not because of their party. Because again, why am I not voting for Beto O'Rourke? Because I don't agree with him. Quite simply that. I pointed out that there's two things that are very important to me. Guns and police. Of which Beto is against. Now granted, a lot of it's going to have to be a balancing act. You are going to have some people that you look at on the ballot, they're going to have to balance. It's not as big and scary as y'all, some people make it out to be. Just look at the things. Look at what is in. You need to, besides making everything you support as a must, take some of those things on your list. Make those the some of the stuff that I really suggest, or I want to vote for someone who has these 5 things of the 20 things that I have to be these 5 things of the 20 that I have to be priority. These are the 15 things, they'd be things that you don't really mind if they're not in support or not going to be taken care of by the person you wanted to vote for. And here's the thing. Politics is a lose-lose game. Especially when it comes to this whole voting crap. A lot of it's just slander campaigning. Basically, one party telling the other party and vice versa to go screw themselves. It's a lose-lose game. But we still need to vote. And we still need to do our best. And do better in voting for who we think fits the position. Not just because of their party. Because I can assure you, if we did that, many issues we have now would not be issues. Or there wouldn't be much conflict as we do. Because if we voted for someone who had more ideals focused towards everybody, instead of the one-sided ideals of one party or the other, because Republicans and Democrats are exact opposites to each other, and they do it on purpose just to piss each other off. If we vote for someone who can quite literally be a almost in-between of those two, we'd be fine. And I can assure you that person, a lot of the independents, conservatives and whatnot, I'm not going to lie, yeah, a lot of them do a lot better. Or in my opinion, if they were running for president, they'd give them a vote. Because they know what they're doing. And, again, people may call, oh, you're just being biased or whatever. Like, no. Like, seriously, it's true. A lot of conservative and what independent and fairly neutral, well, I say neutral, y'all know what I mean, candidates do a better job when it comes to the issues that are covered from the Republicans or the Democrats. They do a better job, in my opinion. Granted, some of them are not as perfect, but then again, there are some that are. Which is why, also I try to encourage that we need to do better in allowing a more fair chance for every candidate. Even though, yeah, they may not be as popular, we still need to give them all a fair chance. Anyways, so when y'all vote for who you think fits the position. Don't use just because they pick someone who votes for a position to be like, oh yeah, well they're Republican, they fit my position, there we go. Like, no, that's not what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. Pick who actually fits the position. Don't do it because of their party. Seriously. You want to help this country? Do that. Vote for who fits the position. Stop voting just because they're Republican, just because they're Democrat. It's not getting us anywhere. Anyways, so thank y'all so much for watching. If you want to, you can like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. I will be trying not to do too many more political videos. Don't worry, this probably will hopefully be the only one that I do. But anyways, thank y'all so much for watching, and never forget, back the blue, y'all.